Jason quit his job on a Wednesday morning in February. He was 41 years old. He worked in logistics in London, Ontario. He made $68,000 a year, a decent salary, a stable position, a reasonable life. And on a Wednesday morning in February, he walked into his manager's office and handed in his resignation. Not because he won the lottery, not because he sold a startup, not because he inherited money, because the month before, his passive income had exceeded his monthly expenses for the first time by $340. That is all the margin he needed. $340 above his cost of living, generated automatically every month while he slept, was enough for him to decide that his time was worth more than his paycheck. His colleagues thought he was having a breakdown. His parents thought he was making a terrible mistake. His financial advisor, at a big Canadian bank, told him he needed at least $2 million before he could even think about something like this. Jason had $387,000 invested. Here is what his bank never told him, and what most Canadians never learn. The number you need to quit your job is not determined by a generic wealth target. It is determined by one specific calculation: your actual monthly expenses in your actual province minus your actual tax-advantaged passive income streams. And for most Canadians, that number is dramatically lower than the fantasy figure their bank suggests. Today, I am going to show you the real calculation, province by province, income stream by income stream, and the exact path Jason took to get there in 11 years, starting from $14,000. Here is what we are covering. Chapter 1. What passive income actually means. Because most Canadians have the wrong definition, and the wrong definition leads to the wrong target. Chapter 2. The real monthly number. What it actually costs to live in 6 Canadian provinces, and the specific passive income target for each one. The differences will surprise you. Chapter 3. The 3 passive income engines available to every Canadian: dividends, distributions, and the rental equation, with real current yields and real after-tax numbers. Chapter 4. The tax advantage that most passive income calculations ignore. Why Canadian passive income is taxed far more favorably than employment income, and how to structure it to minimize what the CRA takes. Chapter 5. The sequence. The exact order of accounts and income streams that gets you to your number the fastest, and the specific mistake that delays most Canadians by 5 to 7 years. And Chapter 6. The one I have been building toward, Jason's 11-year blueprint. The exact monthly contribution, the exact accounts, the exact income streams, and the exact month Jason's passive income crossed his expenses. Step by step. Starting from $14,000. I'm Grace from Money Glow Up. This is education, not financial advice. Always speak with a licensed financial planner before making any major career or investment decisions. Let's get into it. Let me clear up the biggest misconception first. Most Canadians think passive income means doing nothing and getting paid for it. Royalties from a book you wrote. Rent from a property that manages itself. Money falling from the sky while you sleep on a beach. That version exists. But it is not what gets most Canadians to financial freedom. And chasing it leads people toward complex, high-risk, high-effort ventures. Rental properties with 2 a.m. maintenance calls. Online businesses that consume 60 hours a week. Courses and content that require constant attention. True passive income, for the purposes of this video, means income generated by your invested capital that does not require your active time to produce. There are 3 clean Canadian versions of this. Version 1. Dividends from publicly traded stocks and ETFs. You own shares. Companies share their profits with you. Cash arrives in your brokerage account. You did nothing that month except continue to own the shares. Version 2. Distributions from index ETFs. You own a fund that holds thousands of companies. Those companies pay dividends and generate returns. The fund distributes a portion to you regularly. Same principle, capital works, you don't. Version 3. Interest income from fixed income holdings. GICs, bonds, high-interest savings. These pay interest on your capital. Less glamorous, lower return, but genuinely passive and genuinely predictable. What is not passive income for our purposes? A rental property you actively manage, a side business that requires your hours, freelance work, consulting. These are active income with a different source. They require your time. The moment you stop, they stop. The passive income we are building toward generates money whether you wake up or not, whether you work or not, whether you are in London, Ontario, or on a beach in Portugal. It is capital income. And in Canada, capital income is taxed differently from employment income, in many cases much more favorably. This distinction matters enormously because it means your passive income target is not the same as your employment income. You do not need to replace $68,000 in employment income with $68,000 in passive income, because the tax treatment is fundamentally different. We will cover this in Chapter 4. Here is the calculation that changes everything. The passive income number you need is not a generic wealth target. It is your actual monthly essential expenses, the irreducible minimum cost of your actual life in your actual province, plus a modest buffer. Let me run the real numbers for 6 Canadian provinces. I am using a single adult living modestly but not austerely. 1 bedroom, 1 car or transit, no dependents, no mortgage. Ontario, London specifically, Jason situation. Rent 1 bedroom, $1,450. Groceries, $450. Transportation, 1 used car, insurance, gas, or transit, $550. Utilities and internet, $200. Phone, $60. Healthcare extras, $80. Miscellaneous, $200. Total essential monthly, $2,990. Passive income target with 15% buffer, $3,440 per month, $41,280 per year. British Columbia, Victoria, not Vancouver, different math entirely. Rent 1 bedroom, $1,800. Groceries, $480. Transportation, $400. Good transit. Utilities and internet, $180. Phone, $60. Healthcare, $80. Miscellaneous, $200. Total essential monthly, $3,200. Passive income target with buffer, $3,680 per month, $44,160 per year. Alberta, Calgary. Rent 1 bedroom, $1,600. Groceries, $460. Transportation, $600. Utilities and internet, $220. Phone, $60. Healthcare, $80. Miscellaneous, $200. Total essential monthly, $3,220. Passive income target with buffer, $3,700 per month, $44,400 per year. Manitoba, Winnipeg, rent 1 bedroom, $1,150. Groceries, $430. Transportation, $500. Utilities and internet, $200. Phone, $60. Healthcare, $80. Miscellaneous, $200. Total essential monthly, $2,620. Passive income target with buffer, $3,010 per month, $36,120 per year. Nova Scotia, Halifax, rent 1 bedroom, $1,500. Groceries, $450. Transportation, $480. Utilities and internet, $190. Phone, $60. Healthcare, $80. Miscellaneous, $200. Total essential monthly, $2,960. Passive income target with buffer, $3,400 per month, $40,800 per year. Quebec, Montreal. Rent 1 bedroom, $1,100. Groceries, $450. Transportation, $110. STM monthly pass. Utilities and internet, $170. Phone, $45. Quebec plans are consistently cheaper. Healthcare, $80. Miscellaneous, $200. Total essential monthly, $2,155. Passive income target with buffer, $2,480 per month, $29,760 per year. Montreal is the outlier that stuns most people. A single adult in Montreal, living modestly but comfortably, needs approximately $29,760 per year in passive income to cover their essential expenses. That is the lowest passive income threshold of any major Canadian city. Now here is where it gets important. These are pre-tax numbers for passive income that is not structured through a TFSA. But for Jason, whose passive income was heavily TFSA weighted, the after-tax picture was dramatically better. His passive income target in real after-tax dollars was lower than these numbers. Chapter 4 explains why. Okay, you know the target. Now let's talk about how to generate it. There are 3 primary passive income engines available to every Canadian investor. Let me walk through each one with real current yields and real after-tax math. Engine 1, Canadian Dividend ETFs. The most elegant passive income vehicle available to a Canadian investor. You buy a Canadian Dividend ETF, VDY, XEI, CDZ are the major options, and it pays you quarterly or monthly distributions generated by the dividends from Canadian companies. Current yield on VDY, Vanguard's FTSE, Canadian High Dividend Yield ETF, approximately 4.0% to 4.5% annually as of 2025. What does that mean in practice? $500,000 invested in VDY at 4.2% yield equals $21,000 per year in distributions. $1,750 per month. $800,000 invested equals $33,600 per year. $2,800 per month. $1 million invested equals $42,000 per year. $3,500 per month. And here is the Canadian advantage. Canadian eligible dividends are taxed at a significantly lower rate than employment income in every province because of the dividend tax credit. In Ontario, a single adult receiving $41,000 in eligible Canadian dividends and no other income pays approximately $4,200 in federal and provincial tax combined, an effective rate of roughly 10%. Compare that to employment income. The same $41,000 in employment income generates approximately $8,500 in combined federal and provincial tax, more than double. Engine 2, Global Growth ETFs with distributions. XEQT and VEQT, the all-in-one global equity ETFs we've discussed throughout this channel, pay modest distributions, but their primary value is long-term capital appreciation. They are not optimized for passive income yield. They are optimized for total return. For passive income purposes, these work best in a TFSA or RRSP, where you sell a small percentage of units annually to fund living expenses, rather than relying on distributions. The 4% withdrawal rule applies here. Engine 3, Fixed Income, GICs, and Bond ETFs. Canadian GICs, Guaranteed Investment Certificates, currently yield 4.0% to 5.0% for 1 to 5 year terms. They are guaranteed. They are predictable, They pay interest income, which is taxed at the highest rate. But inside a TFSA, the interest is completely tax-free. $200,000 in GICs at 4.5% inside a TFSA equals $9,000 per year in tax-free interest. $750 per month. Zero tax. Zero CRA involvement. For the passive income investor, the optimal blend is TFSA, maximum growth assets, and GICs, all distributions and interest completely tax-free. Non-registered account, Canadian Dividend ETF specifically, because Canadian dividends receive the dividend tax credit. The most tax-efficient passive income in a taxable account. RRSP/RRIF. Defer for retirement. Do not use for pre-retirement passive income unless you have exhausted TFSA and non-registered options. Jason's passive income blend at the time he quit. TFSA, $127,000, XEQT distributions plus GIC interest, $520 per month tax-free. Non-registered, $210,000. VDY Canadian dividends at 4.2%, $735 per month before dividend tax credit. After dividend tax credit, effective tax, approximately 8%. Take home, $676 per month. Total passive income, $1,196 per month. But his monthly expenses were $2,990. So how did he quit? Because he had one more income stream that his bank had never once mentioned. This is the chapter that closes the gap between your passive income and your expenses. And it is the reason Jason's real number was lower than anyone expected. Most Canadians calculate their passive income target by asking, how much do I need to cover my expenses? And they treat that as a gross income target, assuming they will pay similar tax to what they pay on employment income. This is the wrong calculation. Here is why. When you work, every dollar of employment income is taxed at your marginal rate. In Ontario, at $68,000, your marginal rate is 33.89%. Your effective rate on the full $68,000 is approximately 19%. So you pay roughly $13,000 in income tax on your $68,000 salary. Your take-home is approximately $55,000. When your income is passive and structured correctly, the tax picture is completely different. Scenario A, TFSA passive income only. $41,280 withdrawn from TFSA. Tax paid, $0. Take home, $41,280. Effective tax rate, 0%. Scenario B, Canadian eligible dividends in non-registered account. $41,280 in eligible Canadian dividends as your only income. The dividend gross-up and tax credit mechanism in Canada makes this remarkably tax-efficient. In Ontario, you would pay approximately $3,500 to $4,500 in combined federal and provincial tax. Effective rate, approximately 8 to 11%. Scenario C, mix of TFSA and Canadian dividends. $20,000 from TFSA, zero tax, plus $21,280 in Canadian dividends, low tax, equals $41,280 total income. Combined tax, approximately $1,500 to $2,000. Effective rate, 4 to 5%. Your employment income at $68,000. Effective rate, 19%. Tax paid, $13,000. Your passive income at $41,280. Effective rate, 4%. Tax paid, $1,650. You need less gross passive income to cover the same lifestyle, because you keep more of every passive dollar than every employment dollar. This is what Jason figured out. His monthly expenses were $2,990. But his after-tax passive income need was actually lower, because his passive income was taxed at 4% versus his employment income, which was taxed at 19%. He calculated his real target as the monthly expense number minus the tax savings from passive income. His real monthly target, after accounting for the tax advantage, was approximately $3,200 in gross passive income, not $3,440. And at $387,000 invested, he was generating $3,540 per month in gross passive income, $340 above his true threshold. He did the calculation his bank never taught him. He quit on a Wednesday morning in February. The biggest mistake Canadians make when building toward passive income independence is the account sequence. They invest in the wrong accounts in the wrong order, and it delays their target by 5 to 7 years. Here is the wrong sequence most Canadians follow. They open a savings account at their bank. They contribute to their RRSP because their employer matches or their advisor recommends it. They invest in mutual funds inside the RRSP. They have no non-registered account and minimal TFSA. Here is why this is a problem for passive income specifically. RRSP withdrawals before age 71 are taxed as income at your full marginal rate. If you are 42 years old and withdrawing from your RRSP to live on, every dollar is taxable. The passive income tax advantage disappears. You are back to paying near employment income tax rates. Here is the correct sequence for passive income independence. Priority 1, maximize TFSA first. $7,000 per year. Every dollar of passive income generated inside the TFSA, distributions, interest, dividends, is completely tax-free. This is your primary passive income account. Fill it. Keep filling it. Never stop filling it. Inside the TFSA, invest in a blend of VDY for dividend income and XEQT for growth, skewing toward VDY as you approach your target date. Priority 2, build non-registered account second. Hold Canadian Dividend ETFs here specifically. VDY, XEI, CDZ. The dividend tax credit makes Canadian dividends the most tax-efficient passive income in a taxable account. Every dollar of eligible Canadian dividends in a non-registered account is taxed at 8 to 11% effective rate, dramatically lower than employment income. Priority 3, RRSP last for passive income. The RRSP is still valuable, particularly for high-income earners who benefit from the deduction, but it is not optimized for pre-retirement passive income. Leave it to grow. Use it in retirement when your income is lower and the withdrawal tax rate is manageable. The specific mistake that costs 5 to 7 years, investing RRSP money in mutual funds, paying 2% management fees while leaving the TFSA empty and the non-registered account uninvested. Jason sequence, age 30, started. $14,000 in savings. Opened TFSA, invested full amount in VDY. Age 30 to 40, maxed TFSA every year. $7,000 annually, later increased to current limits. Age 35, TFSA full for the year. Opened a non-registered account. Invested overflow in VDY. Age 41, TFSA, $127,000. Non-registered, $210,000. RRSP, $50,000. Minimal focus. Total, $387,000. Passive income, $3,540 per month gross. Target, $3,200 per month after tax adjustment. Quit, Wednesday, February. Let's map exactly what Jason did. Month by month. No, year by year. 11 years. $14,000 to passive income independence. The starting conditions. Age 30. $14,000 in savings. Salary, $52,000. Growing to $68,000 over 11 years. No debt. renting a modest one-bedroom in London, Ontario. Monthly expenses, $2,400 at the start, rising to $2,990 as costs increased. The investment plan. Monthly investment amount, $1,200 at the start, growing to $1,600 as his salary increased. TFSA priority, $583 per month, the full $7,000 annual limit divided by 12. Non-registered overflow, everything above the TFSA limit. Holdings, VDY in both accounts, dividend yield target 4.0 to 4.5%. The passive income progression. Age 30, start. Portfolio, $14,000. Monthly passive income, $49. Age 32. Portfolio, $55,000. Monthly passive income, $192. Age 34. Portfolio, $110,000. Monthly passive income, $385. Age 36. Portfolio, $172,000. Monthly passive income, $602. Age 38. Portfolio, $245,000. Monthly passive income, $858. Age 40. Portfolio, $330,000. Monthly passive income, $1,155. Age 41, target crossed. Portfolio, $387,000. Monthly passive income, $3,540 gross. After-tax need, $3,200. Surplus, $340. Wednesday, February. Resignation handed in. Now, 3 important notes about Jason's blueprint. Note 1, he did not stop investing after quitting. His passive income of $3,540 per month covered his $2,990 in expenses with $550 left. He reinvested that $550 every month into VDY. The portfolio kept growing. His passive income kept growing. His buffer widened every year. At age 45, 4 years after quitting, his portfolio had grown to $490,000. Monthly passive income, $1,715. Still growing. Note 2. He kept his TFSA topped up. Every January, first his TFSA room is renewed. He contributed the annual limit from his passive income surplus. The TFSA continued compounding tax-free. This is the engine that protects long-term sustainability. Note 3. He planned for CPP and OAS. Jason had contributed to CPP for 11 years of employment. At 65, he will receive a reduced CPP, approximately $500 to $600 per month based on his contribution history. At 70, with deferral, approximately $700 to $850 per month. OAS on top, $718 per month. His passive income burden from the portfolio after 65 drops significantly because government income streams fill the gap. His portfolio actually continues growing after he starts receiving CPP and OAS because the government income covers most of his expenses. The scalable version for every Canadian. Jason's timeline assumes $1,200 to $1,600 per month of investment and a modest London, Ontario lifestyle. Here is how the timeline shifts for different contribution levels. $500 per month invested in VDY. Passive income covers London, Ontario expenses at approximately age 52, 22 years from age 30. $1,000 per month, approximately age 44, 14 years. $1,500 per month, approximately age 41, 11 years. Jason's timeline. $2,000 per month, approximately age 39, 9 years. $3,000 per month, approximately age 36, 6 years. The variable is not the target. It is the speed. The target is always your monthly expenses adjusted for the tax advantage of passive income. The speed is determined entirely by how much of your current income you redirect toward income-generating assets. The passive income crossover moment, the day your investment income exceeds your expenses, is not a fantasy. It is an arithmetic certainty. The only question is when. Here is what I want you to do today. Write down your actual monthly essential expenses, not what you think they are. Actually add them up. Rent or mortgage, groceries, transportation, utilities, phone, healthcare, everything. Multiply that number by 1.15 for a 15% buffer. That is your passive income target, before accounting for the tax advantage. Now divide that annual number by 0.042, the current approximate yield on a Canadian dividend ETF like VDY. That is approximately how much capital you need invested in dividend-generating assets to cover your life. For most Canadians in most provinces outside of Toronto and Vancouver, that number is between $700,000 and $1 million. Achievable, not by 65, much sooner. Open a self-directed TFSA at Wealthsimple or Questrade today if you don't have one. Buy VDY. Set up an automatic contribution on payday. Watch the passive income start appearing, quarterly, then growing, then becoming something real. Jason did this 11 years ago in London, Ontario, on a $52,000 salary. He handed in his resignation on a Wednesday morning in February. I'm Grace. This is Money Glow Up, and I'll see you in the next one.